5 seconds to go. Start. In such an eventuality, no corroboration is required. In case there are multiple dying declarations and there are inconsistencies between them, generally the dying declaration recorded by the higher officer, like a magistrate, can be relied upon provided that there is no circumstance giving rise to any suspicion about its truthfulness. In case there are circumstances wherein the declaration had been made not voluntarily and even otherwise it is not supported by the other evidence, the court has to scrutinize the facts of an individual case very carefully and take a decision as to which of the declarations is worth reliance. It could thus be seen that the court is required to examine as to whether the dying declaration is true and reliable, as to whether it has been recorded by a person at a time when the deceased was fit physically and mentally to make the declaration, as to whether it has been made under any tutoring, duress, prompting. The dying declaration can be the sole basis for recording conviction, and if it is found reliable and trustworthy, no corroboration is required. In case there are multiple dying declarations and there are inconsistencies between them, the dying declaration recorded by the higher officer, like a magistrate, can be relied upon. However, this is with the condition that there is no circumstance giving rise to any suspicion about its truthfulness. In case there are circumstances wherein the declaration has not been found to be made voluntarily and is not supported by any other evidence, the court is required to scrutinize the facts of an individual case very carefully and take a decision as to which of the declarations is worth reliance. In the present case, there are two dying declarations. The first one, in point of time, is recorded by Miss Vani Gopal Sharma, DW1, and the second one is recorded by Miss Kanchan Nariyala, PW6. In her first dying declaration, Exhibit DOC, deceased Manjeet Kaur has exonerated the appellant and his family members. In the second dying declaration, Exhibit PE, she has implicated the appellant as well as his parents. In the first dying declaration, Exhibit DOC, she stated that she was having fever and by mistake she took another medicine of green color. On a specific query being made to her by Miss Vani Gopal Sharma, DW1, as to whether she has suspicion on anyone, she has replied in the negative. The first dying declaration, Exhibit DOC, is also endorsed by Dr. Sobati, PW1, stating therein that the patient remained conscious throughout her statement. In her second dying declaration, Exhibit PE, she has stated that the appellant's father and mother caught hold of her and the appellant forcibly administered her the medicine. It is pertinent to note that the prosecution had not examined Miss Vani Gopal Sharma, DW1, who had recorded the first dying declaration, Exhibit DOC, and therefore the defense was required to examine her as DW1. A perusal of her evidence would reveal that on ASI Ranjit Singh making a request, she went to the hospital of Dr. Sobti, PW1, and asked her whether Mrs. Manjeet Kaur was fit to make a statement, and thereupon the doctor opined that she was fit to make the statement. Stop.